If you feel like you're nagging your husband and getting nowhere, then this is a perfect video for you. It's exhausting, right? It's tough to keep trying when it feels like you're not being heard. And the truth is, and let's just say this for real, it's not that you talk too much. It's just that you're speaking a language that his brain doesn't pick up. So what I want you to do is to stick with me for a few minutes, and I'm going to show you why he doesn't listen and how to change it tonight. You'll learn why he shuts down. You'll learn the main reason he gets defensive, and you'll also learn a technique for the communication frequency that will just zip by his defenses. So let's get going and first explore why he shuts down. Now, know this, that when you say, we need to talk, or you never listen, his brain doesn't hear words, it hears danger. Okay, it's like an internal alarm. The male, in his body will hit the panic button. He tenses up, may be defensive, or just completely shut down and check out. And that all happens before he even thinks about your actual words or how to deliver them. His brain is protecting him. So he stops listening. And that's why it feels like you've hit a brick wall. And what do we do when that happens? We try harder, we explain more, and we get emotional. And that concoction just sets off the alarm all over again. So just let that sink in, and then let's have a think how we can change your next conversation, especially in a difficult, stressful situation. Now, you really need to learn how to speak a foreign language at home. What do I mean by that? Well, in the rest of your life, you communicate clearly, you get results. At home, it can be really different, and it's like you're speaking a foreign language, or and he's just wearing noise-cancelling headphones. Are you listening to me? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm sure you've said that at some point if you're watching this video. And so I don't want you to stay in that cycle. So keep on watching. And if this is resonating with you already, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss this series. And, let me know. Have you ever seen your other half shut down? Type yes or no in the comments, and I read every one, and I'm here to help. So let's go into the communication frequency that you need to broadcast on, and this will change everything. It's what most people miss. It's not just what you say, it's the frequency that you're on. Think of his brain like a radio, okay? There are two stations. Station 1 is red alert, threat mode. Station 2 is teamwork and problem solving, okay? Station 1 feels like danger, tense, defensive, maybe even angry. But Station 2 feels calm and ready to solve things together. And the situation is really that most wives accidentally broadcast on station number 1. Danger, that's tense, defensive, and sometimes even angry. So what you need to do is find your favorite radio station and just turn the dial. Try this instead, okay? Swap saying, oh, you never, or you always, for saying, look, I need your help. Instead of you never help with the kids, say, look, I could do with your help figuring this out. And it's really just involving him in a process. It's the same need, the same ask, but the difference is that one sounds like an attack. Oh, you never. And the other, can you help me? Sounds like an invitation. So before you bring up something difficult, ask yourself this, okay? Am I broadcasting at him or inviting him in to the process? Okay, use I or we language. Ask for his input, not, don't demand an apology. Give him a chance, okay? Pause. Give him maybe 10 seconds to think about it and move out of defense. Stay silent after you've posed the question. The waiting time matters because then the male brain goes away from danger to think about it and move out of defense. Stay silent after you've posed the question. The wait, and it goes towards, okay, let's fix it. And I've done this to clients. I've worked recently with a lady who's a VP at a tech firm. Unfortunately, her husband would always check his phone, always, incessantly at home. And she would basically always, say, you're never doing it. You're never pulling your weight. He kept tuning out. And so she asked me for some advice, and I just suggested that she use that frequency switch to say, look, I need some help with X, Y, Z. Can you help me figure out a better way to do it? Same issue, different frequency. And it got her husband's mind. It turned the switch into the male fix. Okay, how can I fix it? I only felt safe to make suggestions. Small change, big results, because ultimately you may be angry with the fact he's not listening to you, but really the goal is to get a big result. So if you like big results, just smash the like button and tell me you want more tips like this, okay? There are scripts that I use with clients, and let me know how you address a difficult question. Do you use never and always a lot? Okay, those are inflammatory words that will just turn off the male brain. All right, and I'm here to help all of us and all relationships get better. So reach out to me in the comments. Okay, now what's the biggest mistake that's made in communication like this? And it's one that I hear a lot. I don't want this to feel manipulative. Okay, don't feel that this is about control. It's about finding the code. It's about finding the frequency and meeting his brain where it is so he can hear your heart. And the biggest mistake couples make is falling into this loop where a wife may bring up an issue, perhaps in a more attacking way. He gets defensive, she gets frustrated, conversation goes boom, nothing changes, and then repeat. And you should know this about most males, that they actually do want to be partners. They don't, and they're not conditioned to deal with emotionally charged language. His language is more about fixing. His language, his initial response is, oh, how can we put this right? Because most men really don't want to upset their female partner. They just don't. Whatever you read on blogs, do not believe this. This is coming from someone who's dealt with hundreds of couples over the years. And generally, most men want to have a peaceful relationship and feel useful. Okay. The word they use all the time is respect. I know it has to be earned, but if they don't understand, they can't earn that respect. Try and avoid the parent-child vibe where you're constantly sort of instructing him to do things, how, you know, he wants to contribute. All right. When you hand him a chance to come up with a solution, his brain thinks, yeah, okay, she actually thinks I'm useful. Okay. And hand him a puzzle that he needs to solve and he will lean in to help. It's a shift that changes everything. All right. So use that type of phrasing. If you've got financial issues, don't say, look, I'm looking at the budget, something's wrong here. What's missing is a much better way to approach it. Okay. Ask him and say, listen, have a look at this because there's something wrong here. The puzzle in his brain, the problem solving instinct in his brain, will get him to have a look. All right. Puzzles invite partnership. Okay. And that's what you should be looking for. Give the puzzle that you can solve together. So I'm talking a lot about this, but what's the transformation that you can expect when you do this? You know what? When you tune the radio to the right channel in his brain, his shoulders will relax. He leans in. He'll offer ideas and not defensive excuses. And eventually, he'll start bringing up issues first. So you can stop feeling like his mother and feeling like his partner again. Okay, because he's feeling useful and he will try to solve the problem with you. And so you don't need him to go to therapy right now. You don't need books, long interventions. You need a technique, how to speak this foreign language at home. And you can start this tonight. Now, I've dealt with hundreds of women as clients, and so many of them are tired of feeling unheard. And I really want to help that. Okay, I've helped hundreds of real high-achieving, busy women transform their marriages with no therapy required. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, book a free marriage strategy call with me and we'll pinpoint what's blocking your connections and how to clear those barriers for good. Okay, the links are in the description below. Because take it from me, you don't have to choose between being heard and being labeled a nagging wife. Right? There's a third, much better option. That's being the partner that you can't wait to collaborate with. And so no obligation, and I'll see you on the call. If this helped, please subscribe for weekly tips so I know what you want to see on this channel. Share it with a friend who may need it. And thanks so much for watching. Okay, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.